Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening, wherever you are in the world, whenever you're listening to this. It's been a minute, but we're back for another episode of Four Doors and GT4s. Aaron, we're pretty well a month out from Petit Le Mans. How's
Whoops.
it been in this wild coming off the high of the end of the season?
Well, first of all, I just got a notification that we were live on Instagram. So there's a new wrinkle in our mobile friendly version of Four Doors and GT4s.
Yes.
Um,
Hello, Instagram, and also YouTube's vertical feed as well. You can see
wow.
our lovely faces compressed into a smaller screen size if you would like.
You miss all my cool stuff in the background. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very good. Doing very good. Really, enjoying what is a short off season in sports car racing. I had a busy October with IMSA and SRO both wrapping up.
True.
But starts right back over again, right? You'll have weather tech testing this weekend at Daytona. So, what are we like 63 days from the roar or something like that? So, before you
Yeah.
know it, it's right back here again.
Yeah, it's going to be a little it's a little bit wild to think about the like the sports car racing off season. You get like what reasonably 3 months ish, 2.5 months, depending. You're doing SRO and stuff as well. I know WEC just wrapped up, but we have really you know, 8, 9, 10 weeks of off season, and then boom, before you know it, we're right back into the thick of it. So it's nice to unwind for a minute, but also I think everybody's missing our sports car racing championships. Luckily, we're here to talk about some of them today. We're going to talk about a lot on this episode, but talk a little bit about Petit Le Mans because we haven't done really a wrap up of that race weekend and the support series races that we had on display for that season finale. We'll talk about the championship winners who were crowned in the various series as well. And we also have some news that's starting to emerge here. It is the off season after all, and some pretty exciting announcements actually to discuss. But as always, if you guys have any questions, then drop them in the chat, and we will get to them at the end of the show. Now, Aaron, like I said, we'll start off with the Michelin Pilot Challenge and Well, I didn't say we were going to start off with the Michelin Pilot Challenge, actually, but we will start off with the Michelin Pilot Challenge and the Petit Le Mans weekend. We had championships on the line. We had obviously everybody gunning for a race win. Walk us through what you can recall from that weekend, because, like I said, has been a month now, so I'm not expecting you to recap what you had for breakfast, but talk a little bit about the weekend for us.
Yeah, I mean the weekend for us was for us on the 76 car. It was just probably the most relaxed we'd felt in maybe since going all the way back to like Laguna. We felt like we were the underdogs because we were, and so the pressure wasn't on us, and so we were just getting back to what we did best, which we thought was being loose and having fun and just letting it rip. And so that's kind of what we did. That was kind of our motto for the weekend for everybody on the car, was just to enjoy that last weekend of the year. Like I said in the episode leading up to it, it's the many emotions go through the final race weekend of the year. Some things are going to stay the same, some things are going to change. So yeah, we just kind of wanted to live in the moment, and just we didn't have any problem, lurking under the radar, so to say, and we were ready to pounce if the opportunity came. And I think we did that during the race, obviously, but yeah, throughout the weekend, I thought we had pretty good pace, but it was weekend where it was evident that the Cooper was going to be really, really fast, just like it had been in Indianapolis. But, our concern was the 98 and the 93 cars and where they were going to be, where we lined up in comparison to them. So, I thought definitely two different vibes within our team. Obviously, the 98 car had the pressure on them. Being in the straight up fight with the 93 car, and we had a different vibe, but in the end, it all kind of worked out for both of us.
Yeah, yeah. It's you guys. I know you didn't end up. You mentioned the Cupra. You mentioned the Cupra being kind of the class of the field all weekend. You guys ran a great race from. I mean, this was a month ago, but I do recall during that race. You guys. Obviously, you got a good finish out of it, but we're one of the cars that really could challenge there in the back portion of that race, especially, and you guys walked away with a great finish. I mean, you talked about that. This is the most relaxed that it felt like you guys had been all season. I guess a lot of that comes from, as you mentioned, to being the not the hunter anymore. You were the hunted with the big target on your back, which was a bit of a change for you guys from previous years. Is there anything that you can look back on this season as a whole and think like that were big learning moments about being in that bit of a different position?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can go back and Monday morning quarterback like every race, right?
Yeah.
We're going to end up losing the championship in a minute when we talk about the race by 20 points, by one position on track, the way it shook out. So, yeah, you can go back and think of where you could have gotten that at, you know, six other races. But no, I think, yeah, it was definitely unique for us because we left Daytona with the points lead and never were further than 20 points out of the points lead the entire season until we left Indy. So yeah, we were kind of always maybe playing it a touch conservative, and there's a couple times where that maybe bit us, but there's also a couple times where it probably saved us. Yeah, I think going into the future in this championship and any other championship, for myself, Dennis, Preston, a lot of the guys on my car, now we know what it's like to carry that pressure with you, and kind of know how to use it in a healthy manner and not let it kind of take over your thinking. You still have to be aggressive, and you still have to go for podiums, because that's the end of the day. The average finish of the champion was just over fourth place, and that's honestly a low score compared to the last few championships. So you got to play it aggressive, and you got to try to be up front. And yeah, I think we learned a lot of lessons about how to save it. I mean, we could have lost it a lot of different times, and my team did a great job all year. Dennis, Preston did a great job all year of saving it, but also, we laid out key points at the beginning of the year, and one of the top ones was zero penalties. And you can find our championship in any of those three races where we had penalties, right? So
Yep.
just it kind of also solidifies the fact that the bullet points we laid out at the beginning of the year are the path to be a champion, and we just have to make sure we execute on all those.
Hey, there's always going to be learning moments for sure. That goes for more than more than just racing. But you alluded to the finishing results in this one. Let's talk about those finishing results a little bit. The podium in TCR was the number 99 Victor Gonzalez Racing Team Cupra, picking up yet another victory for the Cupra. Just behind them in second place was your car, the 76 Brian Herta Autosport Hyundai. And then rounding out the podium, their first podium of their IMSA life, I suppose. We
Yep.
have Baker Racing and Sam Baker and James Vance in their Audi that rounds it out the podium there. I know they were quite pleased with that. Of course, friend of the show, Sam was on with us earlier in the season. So well done to them. And then in the GS class, it was another good race to watch in GS. Maybe it wasn't quite as crazy as we saw at Indy, but it was a familiar. I can't remember if Ibiza won at Indy. No, it wasn't. It was Motorsports in Action,
No,
wasn't
no,
it?
no. Yeah, it was Ibiza won 2 races in a row to end the
Oh,
year.
did they? Okay, so Motorsport in Action end up losing
Was
that
second.
race.
Yeah,
They were the heartbreak end of that.
yeah. They
Um,
finished second at Indy. Yeah.
Okay, so regardless, it was back-to-back wins for Abith Farm and Moisey Aretsky and Michael Cooper, finishing in second. The 23 Copeland Motorsport Cupra, Supra Cupra, close enough. That has to be
Third.
Cupra's or Supra, the Toyota's best. I'm gonna just keep calling the Supra a Cupra now. This is great. That's probably their best finish of the season, I would think.
Yeah, yeah, for
For
sure, for sure it was, and that's Copeland's only third ever pilot challenge race in GS. So yeah, pretty impressive by those guys, and a couple of rookies to the series there as well.
And then rounding out the podium was Turner Motorsports, a pretty familiar name there with their BMW. So, let TCR final race of the season. You get some familiar faces that were on the as you
Well,
were the
we,
top step of the podium
we hadn't been familiar on the podium since June, so yeah, it was.
there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just quickly touch on the race for a couple of minutes. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
we started, I think, in eighth or so place, and then we were running 10th there for a long time. We ended up boxing just a couple laps early before the halfway point, and the entire race was green up to that point. And then you have the one wreck of the day, the one yellow of the day. So just take every time I talk about how many yellows the track is going to have, just take that advice and shove it straight in the trash because it's never right.
No, sometimes you're right, right?
Road,
Like
Road
broken
Atlanta,
clock is right twice a day.
yeah. Only one yellow, and it was the Pegram car getting spun by JDC at the top of the hill going, and they would actually jam up pit lane, which would cause some chaos for some TCR cars who hadn't stopped for fuel, people almost running out of fuel, people taking emergency service. As it all shook out, we actually would be back in about 10th place when the race restarted. We ended up having to take the wave by to get our lap back because of how we fell during the yellow in the pit sequence. And then at that point, it was just Dennis doing what he does best, right? Just driving through everybody. He was driving like a man possessed. Uh, it was really fun to watch. He's done it a few times this year, but we hadn't given him that error-free race in a while where he could do it. So it was nice to see. And we got past our sister cars, and then, of course, very unfortunate during that pit sequence as well. The 93 car would end up having an engine failure, which I just
Yes.
absolutely hated for those MMG guys. Obviously they were fighting for the championship along with both our car and the 98 car, and that's not at all how you want to win a championship or see the season end. So I was really heartbroken for those guys, but yeah, we would find ourselves getting around Vance and getting to second place, and you go, okay, well, there's if the 98 car slides back one spot, or if we can get first somehow, we can win this championship. And that was an awesome position to be in, and not something I probably expected 45 minutes before that. And at the end of the day, we tried to push the pace some, and Tyler was able to answer right back into the Cupra. And so at that point, we knew we weren't going to catch him, and we were a little worried about a couple of things going on in the car. So we saw we were going to be second in the championship, and we knew if we took no more risks, that's where we'd be. And honestly, the way the day started, we thought we'd be fighting to hold on to third at one point. So we decided to just bring it home and enjoy a podium both in the race and in the championship. So yeah, it was a weird feeling. I've never had a feeling like that at the end of the race. Normally you're quite excited after a drive like that out of your driver that you believe in a lot, but to come that close stung there at first, but really as the minutes and the hours set in, like I really just became really proud of what we did for that day and that season, and would end up getting to go to the awards dinner that night. I swore I'd never go to the awards dinner until we had a trophy to actually get, and so that's what I did. I went for the first time, and that was great, and I got to celebrate with our teammates who had an awesome year. I mean, the '98 car had a great year. Obviously, Harry's the sole owner of that championship just on paper because Mason
Yep.
wasn't there, but of course Mason did that as well, and everybody on the '98 car, and Hyundai another championship. My team, my car would actually win the champion or win the award from Michelin for least time spent on pit lane for the entire season, which is one of the only other awards they give out, and actually was one of our goals at the beginning of the season. So just a testament to my guys and how awesome they were on pit lane and what a reliable car they made. So yeah, I probably wouldn't have thought I would have been that pleased to finish second, but if you look at where we finish compared to cars that qualify where we qualify and have the level of driver we do to start versus what we have to finish, quite frankly, we beat everybody's ass that has the same lineup that we do. So we're punching above our weight, and we're proud of what we do.
Little bittersweet, I guess, eh?
Yeah.
It was fun. It was funny that you mentioned, trying to hold on to, all right, get that. I guess you mentioned like holding on to the podium, but Andrew Kissinger mentioned James Vance defending that final podium spot in the race with his life as well. There was quite the battle that went
Yeah,
on there in the
yeah, that was them
final.
in the '98 car. Yeah, we were past
Yeah,
Vance at that point, but yeah.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
but you knew they were. I mean, they're trying to get their first podium of not only the year, but
yeah.
their uh, their teams ever. And like we talked about in the last episode, it's great momentum to go into the off season on a high, and I'm super excited for those guys because they deserved it. They had a real up and down season, and I'm hearing some. I'm not gonna spoil any rumors or anything, but I'm hearing some great buzz about them for next year and what they got cooking too. So yeah, that's awesome for those guys.
Yeah, yeah. We'll talk a little bit about the future and what we might expect, or in a little bit. But of course, like I said, it is the off season. We're starting to hear the rumors and the confirmations as well coming out. So we have a few of those to talk about later in the show. It wasn't just the Michelin Pilot Challenge series though. On track at what is it? Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. I don't know why I almost called it Motul Raceway Road Atlanta. That would be, you see,
No,
if that had happened, this bib that's behind me would probably come to life, and I don't know. I think the
my,
podcast might be over at that point. But
all my daughters came to the race, and
oh, nice.
my youngest daughter calls that the mush man.
The Mush
Is what,
Man.
yeah, she kept saying she wanted to see the mush man again, and it took us a minute to figure out what she was talking about.
There are a lot of there are a lot of bibs kicking around that racetrack. That's for
Yes,
sure. Whether
excluding a huge one on the building. Yes.
yeah, yes, that's a big mush man. That's like Ghostbusters level.
Yes, that
Uh,
is that is the scary mush man. Yes.
yeah. Okay. The other races, the other racing series that were on track at during the Petit Le Mans weekend, you had the VP Sports Car Challenge. In LMP3, Oscar Tunio and Valentino Catalano took the race 1 and race 2 wins respectively for those LMP3s. The LMP3s, which if I do recall, I think we had a fairly healthy grid of those. We'll be talking about some more VP Sports Car Challenge news later on. In GTDX, it was Jake Walker that swept both of the races, and Kiko Porto swept the GSX classes. In the Porsche Carrera Cup North America, which had another round actually after
Yep.
this weekend at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. In the pro class, you had Tyler Maxon and Riley Dickinson. In the pro am class, it was swept by Alan Metney, and the masters class was swept by Scott Blind. And then we had the final weekend for the Whelen Mazda MX5 Cup, where Jeremy Fletcher won race 1 and Parker DeLong won race 2. You know, I feel like I kind of say it with pretty much every track that the MX5 Cup competes at, but I feel like I feel like Road Atlanta is like one of the better tracks for that series. Not that there's any bad ones, but it's the way that it's set up to finish like the second half of the lap there, and how that ends up playing out for the MX5 Cup. You have the long straightaway, then the heavy braking zone into the stadium section, and just watching the TV shots of them come over and down the hill and then go 3 wide across the line, sometimes sideways, is a lot of fun.
Yeah, you you know, if you're going to talk about the MX5 Cup, you really have to talk about the end of race 1, where you have the 3 guys fighting for the championship going into 10A, and you're going, okay, well, this is about to be awesome, and we're going to have this again tomorrow. And then, unfortunately, Nathan Nicholson would spin Tyler Gonzalez, ruin Tyler's day. Nathan would get a penalty that would throw him to the back of the field, and Jeremy Fletcher would win that race, and then he would I think all he had to do was start the next day to win it. Yeah, because he only
something like that.
scored 100 points in the last race. So yeah, that was really unfortunate, because that should have been an awesome finish, and that should have been lined up for a great day the next day. And unfortunately, one decision changed all that. But that's not Jeremy Fletcher's back-to-back, or that's his second championship in there, right?
No, it's his first.
Oh, okay.
Because Gresham Wagner, I think, took it last year, and then it was Jared Thomas the 2 years before that, I believe.
Okay. You're the expert, so
I don't know. I feel like Jeremy Fletcher is pretty young.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he's been in the series for that long, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, that's great racing from those guys. But yeah, just kind of spoiled by what happened on the last lap of race 1 there. But yeah, I mean, you know, I thought it was a really busy weekend, a really action-packed weekend at Road Atlanta. I mean, I know you've already talked about it in your other shows, but I mean, the crowd absolutely insane. Yeah, to sell it out was crazy. I mean, I know the traffic to get into the track on Saturday was crazy. It was crazy to get in there on Friday. So talk about a great place to see a race weekend is there. But
is that the busiest? I know you've been going to Petit for a long time, so is that easily the busiest that you've ever seen it? Or did it feel similar to other years?
Unfortunately, I didn't get to go into the infield at all during the weekend. But just from the sheer amount of like traffic and where they were parking cars and the amount of cars that were there, like, I mean, I got to the track at like 8:30 on Friday, and I'm like 30 rows back parking at Lanier across the street. So yeah, it was insane. My wife and kids arrived like 90 minutes later, and I was walking like half a mile to go find where they had parked. And so the crowd was absolutely insane. The grid walk was packed. It's a great crowd. You could just see it on the cameras, just how full it was. So Road Atlanta supposedly, or Lanier Speedway across the street supposedly is being torn down to put condos there. If they do that, I absolutely have no clue where they're going to park every car next year. Because there were thousands of cars over there parked. So
they're gonna have to get real friendly with that church. They're
gonna have to get some skid steers and some chainsaws and start cutting down some trees and letting people park on the outside of 1 through 6. But good problem to have if you're there.
There we go. I think everybody's down for that idea.
Yeah. So but yeah, awesome weekend at Road Atlanta, like it always is. And yeah, IMSA did a great job with the awards nights for us that Friday night over at Chateau Lawn, which is, if you don't know, that was Don Pano's resort that he built there when he owned Road Atlanta. So yeah, cool. Like, everything still ties back into what they've been doing for a long time there.
That is pretty cool indeed. I forgot about some of those. Well, I mean, it's not a small aspect, but the record crowd and everything like that. So
Yeah.
it's sounds like it was a good weekend overall, a fun weekend to be a sports car racing fan. The I will also make mention of, before we get to the final championship standings, the Super Trofeos were racing this past weekend at the Misano World Circuit in a much warmer place than it is where I am located.
Where is the
Um,
Misano World Circuit? I do not know.
I went off on that mini tangent because I have no clue. I think it's in Italy or Spain. Sounds like Italy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Somebody,
I'll Google it while you read the
while I
report.
ramble.
Yeah.
And in those couple of races, so the world final for the Super Trofeos, you do generally see, it's not all of the cars that make the trip over from that generally compete here in IMSA. It is, generally speaking, a smaller grid. But there were some good outings here for a number of IMSA teams. You did have the likes of Rafa Racing that went over. You also had Wayne Taylor Racing, of course. Some of the heavy hitters, Forte Racing as well, that went over, and some good results for them. So we did have in let's start with just quickly race one. You did have the Rafa Racing entry of Lindsey Brewer and Jan Hempworth that finished second in the AM class in race one, and they would actually take the victory in the AM class in race two. So a good weekend for them. Another Rafa Racing entry of Rocky Baldock won the LC class for both races on the weekend. And then perhaps the highlight of the weekend overall, for if you're familiar with the Lamborghini Super Trofeo series here stateside, you did have the normally it's the number one Paul Miller Racing entry. It was the 101 for this weekend at the World Finals of Danny Formel and Hampus Eriksson. They finished first in race one and second in race two. They also clinched the championship into the pro class. So a big congratulations to them. Very good weekend, of course, and it was a Wayne Taylor Racing sweep as Nick Persing won race two in that pro class as well. So a good weekend for many of the IMSA racing representatives over there. And we'll quickly, I guess that's a perfect transition to mention the championship winners. That was, of course, Danny Formel and Hampus Eriksson that took the win there in the pro class. In the pro-am class, it was Conrad Geese and Jason Hart. Actually, there was a tie. They won the tiebreaker, I believe, over Darius Trinka and Tadas. Oh boy, Karlinskas. Tadas Karlinskas. Okay, I'll give me a tough name to read off of, and
Yeah,
that can
that's not from around here. Yeah,
go
boy,
either way.
to lose a championship on the tiebreaker is tough. 113 points each.
Yeah,
I don't know what the tiebreaker is in that. I'm assuming it's that they had
should be the
four.
normal one, right?
Yeah, they had 3 wins to their 1 win. But yeah, wow, that's
That's
pretty
rough.
cool. Yeah.
That is rough. In the AM Driver Championship, it was Glenn McGee and Graham Doyle who narrowly beat out Jan Hempworth and Lindsey Brewer there, just 2 points. So that was certainly a tight battle, especially with how Yem and Lindsay came on in that final weekend, and in the LB Cup, which did not have a huge representation at this race because Nick Grote had already clinched the championship. But Nick Grote was won the championship there while not even racing in the on that weekend. Kind of
One
wild to
way to
look at the
save money.
results for him this season. He won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 races in that LB Cup.
Yeah, that's a great way to save a lot of money, is to just win it all when you're in North America.
Yeah, that cannot be cheap to ship those cars over, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that's why it's such a smaller grid than we normally
And,
have.
and talk about not being cheap. They also showed that their new Cup car
Yes.
debuted there, so that will be out in 2027. So following kind of the normal thing you see a lot of these guys do, which is launch the GT3 car first and then the Cup car right after. But unlike Ferrari, when they launched the 296 and launched, or just like Ferrari, they launched the 296 one year and then the Cup car the next year. So yeah, that's exciting to see. Obviously we've seen some shaky things out of Lamborghini in some of their divisions of their sports car program, but their GT3 car and their Cup car seem to be very safe and very stable going into the future. I believe their championship doesn't even change locations next year. I think they're running the exact same tracks as they did this year. So obviously their customers seem to be happy with Sebring, Laguna Seca, Watkins, Road of America, and Indy.
And they have a healthy grid too, right? They have you do get some pretty healthy, especially you look at the pro class, the pro am class. Like there's some pretty healthy full season representation there.
Well,
So
speaking of healthy, and new cars, so that was the at Coda, which was the end of the Porsche Carrera Cup North America, which saw Riley Dickinson end up losing the championship there at the last weekend to Ryan Yardley, but that was the farewell of that edition of the Cup car, and the new Cup car will be here for Sebring next year. I've heard that there are 40 of them allocated to North America. So obviously a couple people are going to have spare cars there, but you expect a nice big grid, and it will not be like in years past where there will be two classes where you can run the old car for 1 year. It is a clean break from that generation car, and the new generation car starts at Sebring. So expect to see a lot of people testing at Sebring to get used to that new car early.
That's wild because that new version, or that now it's the old version, but that new version of the 992 Cup car, that feels like it's only been around for like 3 seasons. Like it wasn't that long ago
it
that
was
they
new in
transitioned over.
2022, I want to say.
So I guess
4 years, yeah.
That's just I don't know. It seems like a short lifespan, but I guess with the
Porsche
way
needs that money. Come on, how are they going to get a hypercar program back if they don't?
That's what is that what they're trying to do? They're trying to sucker everybody in to buy these Cup cars so they can go to Le Mans again.
And then the new then there's an Evo kit, of course, for the GT3 car, and then in 2027 you'll see the new GT4 car, which is based off the 911, which won't be based off the Cayman. So that will be really crazy when you see that.
Interesting. So Porsche's just continuing to cook. They're just continuing.
Don't worry about Porsche just because they're pulling out of WEC. Maybe WEC should fix the DOP.
Anyways, moving on.
That's for a different show Stu was on.
Yeah, we don't need to make the IMSA overlords upset this evening.
ACM. Anyway, yes.
Porsche. A perfect transition for Porsche Carrera Cup, because you mentioned that their season did wrap up at Circuit of the Americas, and they crowned some champions. You did have Ryan Yardley that swept the final weekend's races there at Coda to take the championship ahead of Riley Dickinson and Zach Vanier. A pretty close battle between Yardley and Dickinson, of course, going into that last round, and some good battles throughout the season. We saw a bunch of different drivers winning races here, across the year. So definitely one of the better, I feel like the better Carrera Cup Pro seasons that we've seen in recent memory.
Yeah,
You
because
did all.
if you
Go
go
ahead.
back to the last few years of Carrera Cup, I mean, it's basically just somebody stomping a hole in everyone, correct? As far as the
Yeah.
championship goes.
Yeah, there
Uh,
was usually like one guy that would run
yeah,
away with it. And
Luke beat Yardley by 90 points last year. So yeah, that was decided before they even got to Coda. So yeah,
yeah.
definitely a much closer championship than you've seen in years past for Carrera Cup. And obviously, that's, I mean, what's more of a stepping stone than who wins that pro championship in Carrera Cup?
Oh yeah.
That is uh, the the big one to win. I mean, yeah, you can win these Lambo or Ferrari Challenge or whatever, but the guy who wins Carrera Cup, obviously you go to the shootout, but doesn't even matter if you win that because you see almost all those guys become pros. I mean, Luke will be a gold at the end of this year already after just winning that championship, 14 months before that or something like that.
Well, and Lauren Heinrich, I mean, he won. I don't think it was the IMSA or the North American Championship, but he won one of the Carrera Cup championships like 4 years ago, and he just ran his first race in a hypercar this past weekend. So,
Yeah, Riley
it's a
won it
great
in 20.
pipeline.
Riley won it in 23 by 140 points. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So
one of
yeah,
the runaway seasons.
definitely by far the closest it has been in a long time. So yeah, uh, not too much you can knock on that championship other than the fact that, they never passed each other after lap one. But yes, still good stuff. Yeah. Parker Thompson and Kai Van Berlo were the last time we had a close battle in 2022. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
they,
did Kai pull that out?
Nope. Parker Thompson ends up winning that one. Yeah,
Oh,
Kai was
okay.
second.
I should probably know that because Parker is wait,
But
is Parker
Kai is a
Canadian?
gold and Parker is silver. Anyway,
Parker's Canadian, right? Nah.
correct. Yes,
Okay, good.
and
These
Parker is going to WEC. It sounds like next year. Yes, and
Yeah,
hopefully,
but I mean, could he stay and also run an LMP2? He's
yeah,
testing
that
with
sounds like he's going to do that as well. Yeah.
yeah, so there's some interesting storylines maybe to follow there. Getting back to the rest of the champions though in the Carrera Cup North America. In the Pro-Am Championship, it was JP Martinez again narrowly beating out Alan Metney. That was just a 3-point advantage. Alan Metney swept the final two races of the season, but unfortunately for him, JP finished second in both of those races. So about as if JP doesn't finish second, then you could see Alan snagging that championship away. But
ACI gang. Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, there you go. There's your other team. There's your other team coming through. And it was domination in the Masters class for Scott Blind. Of course, a lot of these nobody else ran
The entire
every single
championship.
race.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, I kind of
yeah. That
yeah.
is that is quite the
But
run. And
But to be fair, I mean, he of all the races he ran, he only didn't win 3 of them, and that was across like
well, and
16
one
races.
was at
So,
Coda when he stuffed it in the wall. Yeah, so and went to a backup car. But yeah, that's another guy hearing some rumblings about. Keep an eye on what he might be
oh,
doing next year. So yeah, so many moving parts that happen in a short amount of time. But yeah, exciting stuff. I think coming for a lot of people and a lot of teams.
indeed, there is. VP Sports Car Challenge, just quickly run through here. And like I said, we do have some news to talk about them later on. But again, if you do have any questions, we'll touch on them. Throw them in the comments, and we'll touch on them at the end of the show. In LMP3, you have Valentino Calano that took the win there. Basically, just again dominated this championship, beating out Brian Thiens by 460 points. So pretty good domination there in the in the GTDX class. You have Adam Adelson, who beat out Jake Walker for that win. Man, you look at how close these guys were all season long. Jake Walker, if he doesn't have a goose egg in race 1 at Daytona and is able to run that race, then we're talking about a
Yeah.
completely different
Well, I
championship
don't.
outcome here.
I definitely don't remember why he didn't run race 1, but ran race 2 at.
It had to be a technical issue, right? Like I don't remember either. So
I don't remember either. Yeah, that's yeah, that is interesting.
we're really good at our jobs of remembering all of these
How am I supposed to
races.
remember what happened 10, 11 months ago at this point? Yeah.
And then in the GSX class,
Hold on, you're forgetting the best class, the GTDX Bronze Drivers Championship.
oh
Come
well,
on.
I guess
How
okay.
could you forget that?
The bronze championship again. There was only one driver that ran all the races, but she did kind of dominate here as well. Samantha Tan, who, of course, a name that we've heard in various championships from SRO and now in IMSA. Another potential driver that she wants to take the step up to the WeatherTech Championship at some point. So.
Yep.
Definitely one to keep an eye on and ears out for any developments there. And then you do have in GSX the championship was dominated by Kiko Porto, beating out Ian Porter there by 600 points at the end of it. And there were a lot of drivers that ran the full season championship, so it was Kiko did a darn good job there. But on the Bronze Cup or the Bronze Drivers, I don't know if they call it the Bronze Cup in GSX, but it was Ian Porter that won that championship. So well done to Ian.
So we have a little bit of VP Sports Car Challenge team news from north of the border, correct? Travis is upset because I believe his driver won some races in GT4.
Can we? If we can say that Kiko dominated that season, you can win. You don't have to win every race to dominate a season.
Let me see what these points are so we can see why Travis is upset.
It was like a 600 point win.
Yeah, that seems like a lot. I mean,
that's kind of a lot.
Seems like a lot, Travis. I mean,
moving on.
Yeah. Anyway, I believe your friends from Tooth are joining the VP Sports Car Challenge next year with some LMP3s, correct?
How could I forget? You're right. They did announce that they're. I don't think they have. I don't know if they have drivers confirmed.
I think they still said that they were looking for some drivers. And then on their social media as well, it has Michelin Pilot Challenge listed on there. So, who we saw Tooth run a touch back in 2022 with what was then the brand new Audi for a couple races in Pilot Challenge, but
well, they ran
and then they ran the GT4 last year and ran it out of gas. Yes, how could we forget? So yeah, they have been in there a couple times, but yeah, I saw they were running some LMP3s at the HSR weekend for Daytona. So yeah, exciting to see another Canadian team. I mean, that's going to be, you have them, you have Baker, you have MMG, you have several, obviously AWA and WeatherTech, but Tower, and then I guess FAF. Do they count?
No. They're fake Canadians, right?
Are they still racing? So yeah. So
you mentioned the new Lamborghini. I mean, they're running that sucker this weekend. So
yeah. So cool to see those guys, and that's a championship we talk about all the time. What's going to happen with it? And we were talking specifically about LMP3. So again, maybe that draw of the two drivers, and you can get double funding for that. Might be drawing some more teams with the LMP3 cars into that championship.
They were actually the first team to receive in North America the new LMP3 car. So,
oh, I didn't realize they had the new ones. Okay, very
yeah,
cool.
they got it like back in May or something. So,
Okay, very
yeah,
cool.
they've had it for a minute, and they have tested it a fair bit from videos I've seen at CTMP. So,
Very
and
cool. Yeah.
so
Nice.
yeah, they've that would be a cool thing to see. Of course, yeah, the new LMP3s are coming next year, so we'll have to see how that impacts the number of them that we'll see on the grid. But
Yeah, we haven't seen the rule book for that series yet to say if it will be old and new cars together, BOP'd or what. So well, yeah, we kind of have to wait and see. Most likely, we'll see all those rule books posted in the next couple weeks, as WeatherText was finally posted today. So yeah,
all right, there we
I'm
go.
probably the only one on here that's like checking the rule book page every day to anxiously awaiting new rule books. But anyway.
Well, I saw you made a post on Instagram, which again, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we are live on Instagram right now for the first time
And I can
ever.
see when you comment on Instagram versus YouTube because there's a little tablet square when
Oh,
Mr.
that's actually the YouTube
Oh,
vertical feed.
oh
Yeah.
boy. Wow, I guess it's hard to keep track of all the technology you have. Yeah, yeah, there's some interesting things in the WeatherTech rulebook. No spoilers though. You have to read all 176 pages to find them.
Oh, you're not gonna give us the spoilers. You're gonna
No,
make us read
I
all this
realized
stuff.
last year I gave spoilers, and I had like several people come up and tell me they did not know that, and I was like, "Wow!" I'm like telling my competitors like things in the rule book they might have missed. So you got to read the damn rule book for yourself.
All right. I'll
Yeah.
read I'll read the rule book and see how I interpret the rules, and
Okay. Yeah.
I'll give your competitors some advice. How does that sound?
Okay. Yeah. You tell me what you find in there.
That's probably the best way to do it, right?
Yeah.
And then the last championship that we have to crown place. I should have got a little crown, like maybe the Burger King crown or something to put on whenever we crown a
You
champion.
don't want to do that and be on an airplane. That's a different kind of look. Yeah.
You do have the Whelen Mazda MX-5 Cup. It was Jeremy Fletcher, as you mentioned, that won 3 of the last 4 races. What a role to go on and take that championship. That's pretty incredible. He beat out Tyler Gonzalez and Nathan Nicholson, who of course Nathan Nicholson had just a disaster of a weekend overall. And then Tyler Gonzalez, I mean, you alluded to it a little bit earlier, but yeah,
Yeah. Talking
another.
about a crazy championship. So Jeremy Fletcher had 30 points from one of the rounds at Barber
Yeah,
and 90 points from CTMP and still won the last race without having to do anything but start, I believe. So, yeah, pretty.
Tyler Gonzalez had 2 races where he got 10 points out of it.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. And he was still in the championship fight. Yeah,
that's
that's a
crazy.
that's a wild season. Well, the first 10 points goes back to that how the season
Huge
started for those
crash.
guys with the huge Daytona crash. So,
Yeah, that was
um,
wild.
yeah,
What a
fif-
season they had. Yeah, what a season that championship had.
54 different drivers took part in that championship this year. So, yeah, talk about a championship that is alive and well. Come on, Mazda, bring a GTP car back. Come on, everybody likes
Hey,
a Mazda.
imagine the MX-5 as a GTP car though.
There you go. Yeah, open top, bring it back.
Oh, open top. That would be something. It'd be like the what do they call that screen in IndyCar? Is it like
Oh, the
the
aero
aero
screen.
screen?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
you do some sort of variation of that. I don't that's I mean, you were reading the rules today, right? That's probably not
Yeah,
allowed.
that's a frowned upon these days.
Well, they could always make exceptions. Sports car racing likes to do that. So,
Yeah.
let's that's all of our champions. So maybe it's time to touch on these couple of news stories that we got.
Yeah.
flying our way. And the first one that we'll touch on here is the Michelin Pilot Challenge. We have, you kind of you alluded to Tooth a second ago. There's nothing that's hard confirmed there yet, of course. But we do have a confirmation, and it's a social media account that has been very, very active the past couple of weeks, trying to ramp up the excitement for first who the manufacturer that they are going to be running with, now the drivers who they're going to be running with. Stallion Motorsports is coming to the Michelin Pilot Challenge series in 2026, and they'll be running a Cupra Leon VZ TCR. So that is going to be in partnership with Goo Racing,
Yeah.
which is interesting. So based on I don't know if you know much or anything about this, Aaron, but does how I interpret that is that, Goo's going to be helping them to kind of get their feet under them, but these are going to be two separate outfits. Is that Mike, or do you know?
It also says like logistical partner, so I would guess
Okay.
that this car will be under the Goo tent and then run under their own brand. If I had to guess, Goo has a very nice setup,
They do.
a very nice truck and
Very
trailer
bright setup
already.
too.
I know that they were in possession of multiple Cupras, so it could be one of their Cupras that they're giving to these guys, or letting them run. But yeah, so I believe Victor is getting a second Cupra, or has a second Cupra as well. So you could see at least 3, maybe 4 Cupras in the field next year. So pretty crazy, considering that's not a car that's sold in North America. But as you said, the rules of course are
Oh, this goes back to me talking about bending the rules a
yeah.
little bit.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, if you saw that car the last 2 races, you'd say that's the car to have, right? Maybe a little 3-letter word. We'll dial that one back in for the start of next year, but yeah, that's an exciting one. If you want to talk other TCR news, oh well, they keep teasing who the driver is going to be. Obviously they're saying it's a Brazilian connection. You can go look at a post from Precision Racing and see that they are actively looking for drivers, and you can kind of connect the dots of maybe who's going to be the driver there at the Cupra, right? Well, I won't spoil their announcement, but if I'm reading the tea leaves, that's what I'm going to guess. But yeah, you talk about what else is going on in TCR. Obviously, like I just mentioned, not sure what's going on with Precision right now, as they just you saw them and Eversley kind of make a post like, "Hey, we're looking for funded drivers for next year." So, not sure what you'll see from those guys yet next year. I believe that we know that Sam will be back, and potentially back with 2 cars, and maybe something going on there. Who knows? So that could be exciting. Of
Aaron
course,
with the I know something that you guys don't know face.
yeah. Obviously, Brian Hurt is going to be back. MMG, we expect to be back. We saw Hart post on social media that they would be back at Daytona. We expect the 5 car to be back next year as well. So, yeah, hopefully another really strong TCR field for next year. And then we've seen, I hear a lot of rumblings about stuff that's going on in GT4 and in Pilot as well. It's a lot of familiar names you've seen stepping into that championship. Haven't seen any official announcements yet, but I feel like we're still in a very good spot in that championship, both in TCR and in GT4. But yeah, would love to see maybe another surprise team or two pop into TCR and get that car count closer to 20. But I mean, we averaged 15 this season, which was
Yeah.
amazing compared to that was the best since 2021, probably.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we talked about it a lot last year and how wanting to see some more consistent car counts in TCR, and that definitely happened this year, right? Like we didn't have a race like we had multiple races last year where there were, maybe 10 cars or so on the grid. I think
Yeah.
I think if I'm remembering that right.
Yeah,
So
I think it was 11. Yeah, I think we had 10 up in Canada, yeah.
yeah, so good to see some healthy car counts. And I guess a question that, I have for you is, we do talk about some consistently high grid numbers as well in GS. Like how much more space do you think we realistically have in Pilot Challenge? Because it's honestly probably not a question about grid space at this point, right? Like you're probably talking, would it be more of a paddock space question at some of the tracks that we go to?
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull up the SR from
Oh
uh
yeah, because they usually list that there, although they will
so I
oftentimes
mean
send
in the
a
SR they
bit
still have it listed as 60 maximum cars for Road Atlanta, right? So
a
um
lot.
yeah, I don't think they would turn them away. What you end up seeing in our championship in paddock limited spaces is actually, and a lot of teams prefer to do this because it's so easy to pack up when you're done, is they will not pull their full canopy out, but they will actually go in under pop-ups, and then you can pack in really twice as many trailers if you don't have people's full canopies out. And then guys like it because you can tear it down in just a few minutes after the race, especially some smaller teams. So yeah, I don't think really the paddock space is too challenging right now. We've seen when we've overflown at Watkins that they've just put some people under their awnings as well. They don't limit it to the garage space. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
I don't think IMSA's anywhere near turning away cars for Pilot Challenge yet. 60 cars on track for
That'd
Pilot
be
Challenge would
terrifying.
be absolutely insane and is pretty exciting.
Yeah, oh man, that would be a sight to see. You have like
And then, maybe,
25 TCRs and
they make us
35
go
GT.
back to Lime Rock with 60 cars. Yeah, be like, oh wow,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, Lime Rock would never get back on the calendar
yeah,
if there was going to be 60 cars there. You're going to have again like a TCR or GS only weekend. But
yeah.
if they ever return to Lime Rock, turning
Fingers
down
crossed we don't. Yeah,
turning down a gloomy path with that one.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so that's seeing Stallion join. I believe that they've run, is it in the Brazilian Touring Car Championship for some time before? I think I saw.
I think so. Yeah, something like that. So
And the Cupra that they actually received is the one that was unveiled last year at Petit. It was still all
no,
decked out in the number. They had the 44 on it, and I guess they did some testing with that car, right? New German
oh, was it?
Performance
No, I
did.
don't know. They
Yeah,
all came in that gray color that they're all using. Like Victor has the gray color on his car still as well. Yeah, so.
yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the first one that got shipped over. So
Yeah, by the time we get to our preview episode for Daytona, hopefully we'll have a bunch of new cars to talk about. But I think from what I hear, it sounds mostly positive. Obviously, you're probably going to lose a team or two here or there, but mostly
yeah,
good things I'm
that's
hearing about
normal.
for next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess do you know when the entries closed for Pilot Challenge now? Do you know?
I do not know, but I know you won't see it till
Yeah.
a
The
week
like couple weeks
before.
before the roar,
You
probably,
see it
right?
the Wednesday, the week before the roar. So we won't know until January 7th at 2 p.m. or something like that. Yeah.
Set your calendars, ladies and gentlemen. Set an alarm. Put it
Yeah,
in your phone
we'll be
right now.
live January 7th night to break it all down for you. Yeah.
Emergency podcast breaking down the
And the V
Michelin Pilot
and the
Challenge grid.
VP Challenge will randomly have 50 cars that weekend and then have 12 the rest of the season like they did this year. Yeah.
50 cars and then 12. Don't joke around. That's too
True,
painful.
it's what happened. Yeah.
It's too painful. Maybe we'll get some surprise news in the off season and we'll get like an extra endurance round added for the Pilot Challenge, right? Wouldn't that be that'd be
So
emergency
don't
podcast worthy?
even that they don't tease me like that. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. They won't do it. They hate us.
If we keep talking about it, they're bound to listen to us at some point, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, this is
We
definitely what they're all listening to.
We willed the increased car count in TCR into existence this year. Why
That's
can't we
true.
will
Yeah,
this to
I'm
existence?
gonna will the Endurance Cup into Pilot Challenge.
Maybe
Uh,
you could start like an uprising in the Michelin Pilot Challenge paddock, and you guys can just stay on track for an extra couple hours, you know, during one of
Perfect.
these race weekends. What's the
Yeah,
worst that could happen, right?
they can't kick you all out, right?
Exactly.
Um, yeah. So, but talking about the VP Challenge, let's talk about the hidden news in VP Challenge that
Yeah.
is like a secret, and someone explain it to me because I want to know. So, um, as we still don't have a lot of details about what's going on in VP Challenge next year, as far as we know they're going to have these 4 extra weekends that are 2-hour races that are on USAC weekends, but will be supported by IMSA Technical and Michelin. But now we get news via John Doonan on a podcast that um, a BMW spec car will randomly be running in these 4 races as the second series on track. And other than a Rogue Sports Car 365 article, I've seen no news about this. And that race is in like 4 months. So, yeah, tell me how the new BMW M2, which is returning after being gone basically for a year. I know it's returning to SRO as well in TC in that new class. But yeah, tell me about this, Stu. What's going on?
I mean, your guess is
Who
as good as
who
mine.
has these cars right now? Like who bought a bunch of them? Like I haven't even seen a team like offering anyone to run them or anything. Like I am very curious about this.
Well, it kind of sounds in line with some of the VP sports car challenge, like like some of the other classes, right? Where it's very, very low car. I mean, LMP3, I guess, is low car count than
The car was
GTD.
somewhat strong in SRO. Like I mean, there were definitely like 7 or 8 of them, but
So is this the same car that
well,
ran in SRO?
it's the new version of the car, right? Yeah, so
Okay.
there's a new one, which is what is supposed to save the car count in TC next year for SRO. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. There's like no news about it. I haven't seen any teams like selling seats or anything for it. I want to engineer one. It sounds fun. Reach out to me if you need somebody to engineer one. But yeah, it's just like a thing that was thrown out there with no press release or anything, which is kind of un-IMSA like. So uh,
Yeah.
curious to see what happens with that. I don't have their schedule in front of me, but I believe that first endurance race is like before IMSA ever gets to Sebring, like a weekend. So like maybe the first weekend in March. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
March 6th to
not.
8th.
Yeah, so it's really not that far away.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see how this. I mean, they gotta be coming from. They gotta have. There has to be demand for it, or they wouldn't add it. You would think, right?
Who's
But
got a bunch of them? Who loves BMWs?
well, Turner Motorsports.
Random vandals, Turner. Who's got a stockpile of these things sitting somewhere? Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple other. I mean, there's a lot of BMW teams in GS now, right? So
Yeah. So anyway, that one's interesting. We'll see how that one pans out. But that would actually give you a 4th championship in
I
or a 5th championship because there's the bronze GTD championship. So like, yeah, a lot of little championships going on in there. Travis, you're our VP Challenge expert. Why don't you have any news on this? I know you're in
th-
here.
I'll say this sounds like a terrifying class to add on track with LMP3 cars. Like
Sounds like you're gonna get laughed somewhat quickly. Yeah.
I was looking to see what the power compare or you know how this car compares to the MX5 car, the MX5 Cup car, and I'm like, yeah, it's a little more powerful, but I think it's also probably heavier. So
Look, Turbo Snail here with the insider. He says he saw none of these cars at Random Vandals last week. So who has them? Does anyone have any of these cars? Will there even be any? Yes. That's
maybe do they exist? Travis also has nothing,
yeah.
and so that's great. And then Andrew agrees that the M2 Cup is kind of random.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty random indeed.
Anyway,
You gotta get it is kind of funny how
Brad Miller has
IMSA's
fun
taking a
playing.
lot of like dart throws with this with and confirm Pratt Miller has none. All right.
I can confirm ACI and Herta have none either. So
Okay,
those are more
let's get
limited.
with the list of all the IMSA teams, and we're just gonna run down
Yeah.
it. Then we'll go to SRO,
I
and
have
we're
been
gonna.
told that Wayne Taylor Racing has none. Yes, no, I don't know. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was gonna be my next guess.
Yeah.
You know what? I can't wait to go to the FAF open house this winter and see
What if
3 of these things in
there's a
the
fleet
shop.
of them in there? And you're like,
Yeah, yeah, that's probably what it is.
uh,
Canadians just hoarding them, right?
like the new
That's
LMP3s.
yeah, true. That's true. Or like toilet paper during COVID. Just oh boy,
Zero
it's
Americans on the team.
none. We got none at BCI. We got WRT running. Yeah, true. WRT. They're gonna have the new shop. So
Yeah, yeah,
um, this will become the new story to follow this off season.
yeah.
It's
As soon as we find one, we will go live on our new mobile version and
emergency podcast.
tell you that we found one. Yeah. So
Oh man.
I don't know what other news do we have, Stu?
I don't know if we have much else, so we can take a look at. I don't know if there was any comments that have any questions or anything, but there's certainly some opinions from the episode. Totus agrees. I think that's or Tudis. I don't know.
Todd
Uh,
is 51.
bring the endurance the challenge the 4 hour back to Watkins Glen. I agree with that. Let's do a 4 hour race at Watkins Glen as well. It's already a jam packed race weekend. But if they're gonna take away the MX5 Cup cars from us at Watkins Glen, then you have track time to make that a 4 hour race.
That's true. That was 2021 when they ran like the double weekend at Watkins, and there was a 4 hour, and then there was a 2 hour. Yep. And then we were at Road America, and then we were at Indy. Yeah. They're teasing us with our 4 hours could be. Now we've found our home at Mid Ohio Sports Car Course.
Yeah, you get your moment there.
Dude, that better be on your calendar for 2026. We better see you at Mid Ohio so you can check that one off your list. The big
That's true. I am gonna need to check that off list. I do want one of the ones that I think I'm gonna check off next year is Sebring. So
you haven't been to Sebring yet?
I have not been to Sebring. So
that's definitely a great one to check out. Yeah. If you haven't been to Sebring and Laguna, then you gotta go to those two for sure.
Okay, now you're talking about the other side of the country here.
Yeah,
so
there's these things called airplanes. I know you're scared of them, but yes.
I spent a decent amount of time on an airplane this past weekend, so I'm not scared of airplanes, but I'm scared of the people that can sit beside you on those airplanes. They're a little scary sometimes.
Yeah.
Andrew said hallelujah heart. So
yeah. If we hadn't spun Hart, then hey, he should be happy for Hart, because if we hadn't spun Hart, then we would have won the championship, and instead Andrew won the championship. So there you go. You can thank Hart.
There you go. Travis says Cupra North America 2030. Close enough. Yeah, close enough. Again, bending the rules.
Yeah.
We have the Turbo agreeing that the Tooth Boys are awesome. I would agree. They're Canadian. They have to be awesome, right?
Yeah, and just talking 1 second, like globally for TCR, I don't know if you saw this or not, but TCR's World Championship that they've keep trying to plan every year and keep canceling like 3 weeks before because no one enters. Kind of interesting to see where TCR just as a whole racing series kind of goes in the future, right? Obviously, we have pretty strong over here, but you're seeing some of their championships struggle really, like their Australian championship and German championship.
There's an Australia? I did not know there's an Australian championship
race, and then obviously British touring cars is like something else. So yeah, like it'd be interesting to see what the future of TCR is, and if there are more manufacturers, looking to get involved and into the championship, because you kind of seen the same brands in here for several years now. Yeah, the Cooper comes in, okay, whatever. But yeah, the only one really in the World Championship that you don't see here is the Lincoln Co., which is a Chinese car that's not made and not sold in the U.S. So yeah, it will be interesting to see. We know IMSA has his deal signed for a couple more years with TCR still, but yeah, kind of probably in the next 12, 18 months, is there life? Are there Evo kits coming? Are there new cars coming? Is there more manufacturer involvement? You'd hate to see it go the way of World Rally Championship, where you just see less and less manufacturers, and then
Yeah.
when you're in panic mode at that point.
We need Mazda to dust off that car
Yeah,
that they made and run it.
yeah. Need Doonan to pull the Mazda back out, but yeah,
Yeah,
but obviously the
dude,
GT4 platform has no problems at all. I mean, GT4 couldn't
true.
is very strong all over the world, including in North America in several different championships, not only Pilot Challenge, but Trans Am and SRO as well.
Well, you know what?
WRL.
If TCR does go away in a couple of years, or if it dies off, then it's a good thing we have that M2 Cup, right? At least
That's where we'll just all be M2 Cup fans, and we'll be going to those 2-hour enduros at random USAC weekends. We can't wait.
it's going to be perfect. It's going to be
Yeah.
perfect.
Michelin will get to sell 4 more tires that weekend, so they'll be thrilled. Yeah.
Four,
It'll be
four
worth them
tires.
dragging their trucks down there.
You need tires, you idiot.
Yeah, come
That's
on.
a
New
Cars
tires required every session. Yeah.
We did have this is, I think, one of the few comments from the mobile stream that was going. We had Dylan drop in. I think Dylan's actually going to be at the IMSA test this week. I think it's during the week. So keep an eye out to see what he sees there. What else do we got? Oh, that show, What the Heck Whack. That's a good name for a show, Travis.
Yeah. Well, somebody's gonna have to have a podcast about those cars, since Sports Car 365 is bailing on us. Yeah, who's gonna give us all of our whack
Not
news?
official. Yeah, not official.
Okay.
Somebody they just need their gentleman driver to come in.
I guess we're gonna have to step up and be the #1 sports car podcast. Yeah,
that's true. We can do it, right? We're gonna the weekend sports cars. Better watch out. Better watch out. Turbo Snail also mentioned the inaugural Veterans Race of Remembrance was this past weekend at VIR, and now that completely separate topic, I guess. My team is one of those new 2 customers. What were we talking about at this point that Turbo would be one of the new customers for?
moving from Michelin Pilot Challenge to Carrera Cup. We were talking about the new Porsche Carrera. Oh, he must work for Simpson, CSM, whatever they are.
Yes.
Yes.
There we go. Race of
that.
Remembrance. I forgot that was going on too.
Yeah, I saw Paul Sparta one, I think. Yeah. I did not. HSR was also this weekend, so yeah, there is definitely some places to get your racing fix. If you are friends with my drivers on social media, then you saw what they were doing at HSR at Daytona this weekend, rocking the Jägermeister Porsche 962 around all weekend. So having a fun time there. So we're all staying busy during the off season, trying to get our racing fix. We can all live vicariously through Lanky Turtle this weekend as he somehow sneaks into the test and gives us some updates about what's going on at the IMSA test this weekend. But yeah, just as far as us and the show, you probably won't see us for a couple months, but we'll be back in.
We might. We did some off-season ones last year.
We did not do anything last off season. We always say who knows? Maybe we'll get inspired and just start interviewing people, and we'll post.
I swear we did some last season. Did we?
I don't think so.
We did. Maybe. Where did we go? We did a championship weekend, and then we did a Daytona Daytona preview. You're darn right. That's how
Yeah,
it went.
maybe
So
we'll do a Christmas episode. You never know, but yeah,
yeah, we
probably.
can dress up as Santas
Yeah.
and then we can give away
Stu and I
those
both have lots of
M2s. We can give away M2s.
yeah. Well, Stu and I both have lots of jobs that actually pay us. So, but if we get inspired, maybe we'll start some off-season content. But if not, you can find us back here in January, getting ready for Daytona, which is only 60 something days away. Like I said, you know, I won't spill the beans on what I'm doing next season, but yeah, we're excited. I'm excited for the future, and you know, gonna be bored. What am I gonna do for 2 months? The M2 lottery. There you go. You know,
Yeah.
if you won the lottery, which is like 900 million tonight,
Damn.
you could buy a lot of M2s. You could have your own championship of M2s.
Yeah.
You could have a six.
Yeah.
You could have a 60-car entry list of just M2s, and max out the grid with just your M2 championship.
You'd have a lot of money to spare too, probably, right?
Yeah.
How much would one of those things run, do you think?
Oh,
Like
Google would tell
new.
you. They're probably like 130 or something.
Okay. It's reasonable. It's reasonable. It's doable.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I,
we'll look.
the only thing that you could probably get cheaper is I'm sorry, $98,000 is what Google says. Well, that might be for the street car though. But the only thing that you could get cheaper would probably be an SC63 Lamborghini, which you can find on bringatrailer.com coming next week.
No, that thing's gonna run in the Asian Le Mans series next year.
Hey, if the wingless Peugeot can somehow go run in that series, then why can't the Lambo?
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense. That would make sense, I suppose, but still only on USAC weekends with your 60-car grid.
Yeah. Hey, Travis, you got any BSI news you want to break for us about what they're doing next year? You can break that news for us. Yeah.
Historic racing isn't far away for the SC63. You're right. We're gonna see that back at Daytona before too long.
Yeah. I think yeah, from a little birdie that told me, I think there's only one running chassis of the SC63 in the world. So yes, don't wreck it, whatever you do. This is proof that if you wreck your car in early testing, that your program will be ruined forever. Yes.
That yeah, well, I think we're opening a door to go down another rabbit hole tangent.
Anyway, this isn't a WeatherTech. You can listen to Stu's 8 other podcasts about WeatherTech news. Yes.
8 other podcasts. No wonder it took us a month to get this one in, because I have 8 other podcasts to do. Yeah.
Look, Travis has some breaking news he just won't tell us too. So there's lots of people know some news for 2026. But yeah, you know, you can. You know what I'll probably do is I'll probably start doing what I did last year on Twitter and just predicting my grids for preseason as they get confirmed. But yeah, no, just to wrap it up as we get off the rails here. But yeah, thanks everybody for all the support this year. Everybody that came and saw me and Stu at the track. It's always nice to see people that reach out on social media. I think like 90% of this podcast is just people in the paddock, but that's fine with me.
It's your paddock source for news, right?
Yeah.
News and
I had people in the paddock say I didn't know that until I heard it on Four Doors and GT4. So there you go. But yeah, obviously an exciting year for myself personally, and me and my teammates' growth in this championship, and you know, can't wait to try to go finish it off, however that may be. But yes, and Travis is the number one
shirt.
Oh, well, actually, Travis, you know, you and Stu both put my face on a shirt this year, so that means a lot that 2 different people made shirts with my face on them, 2 different shirts. So that was also special. But yeah, you haven't dropped any finger guns since May, so you know, hopefully get to do that more next year. And you know, next race up is Daytona, and last I checked, let me check my notes. Who won that race last year? Oh, I did. So let's see if we can't go back to back. Yeah, that's a good way to start it, huh?
Rebounding off of the bittersweet Petit to go right into the trash talk early ahead of
Well,
the
I mean,
2026 season. You love to see it.
just trying to remember if anybody beat me there last year, but they didn't. Yeah. Anyway.
All right, this is a good point to wrap it up before everybody stops watching.
Yeah.
Um, again, like Aaron said, thanks for everybody for all of the support this season. We'll be back maybe in December,
Who knows?
maybe more likely in
Maybe we'll
January.
get Max Verstappen as an interview and we'll come back early. We don't know. Maybe,
Oh,
maybe not.
yeah. I'll get to work on that. Hey, Max, what are your thoughts on running a Michelin Pilot Challenge race
What do you
next
thought
year?
on the M2 challenge car?
Max, are you going to be running an M2 in the VP Sports Car Challenge next year? Yes or
South
no?
weekends only. Yes. Yeah.
Blink twice for yes.
Yeah.
Listen, okay. If Max Verstappen gets confirmed in a TCR for Daytona, I think we'll do an emergency pod. Is that a deal?
I was this close to having an IndyCar driver one year in Pilot Challenge. So a current IndyCar driver back then. Yes. We had Haley Deegan one time. We've had some NASCAR guys.
Oh yeah, that one race.
You never know what you're going to get in Pilot Challenge at Daytona. Everyone's bored and wants to drive something, and it's you get all the NASCAR and IndyCar guys to come out of the woodworks. Yeah,
That's true. That's going to be a fun entry list to break down when that comes out. So, all right. Anyways, whether it's December, whether it's January, we'll talk to you then, unless if there's some really groundbreaking news. Thanks again for a great season, and we will talk to you when we talk to you next.
what an ending! Goodbye.
Just a killer ending.
Yeah.